Hello and welcome. I'm Andrea, and we're going to start standing today. For this class, I'd like you to have 2 chairs so that we can practice balancing. So you might think, oh, I'll just use 1 chair and use it. But what I don't want you to do is lean into the chair because we're going to focus on being upright and balanced. You could use 1 chair against a wall just so that you have 2 hands touching something. We will sit in the chair briefly, and when we head to the floor, you could use a strap. We'll do a little hamstring work and things for Shavasana. I think that's it. I would like for you to take your socks off. You can moan and groan about that, because I really want you to sense and feel your toes and feet. There are so many joints in the feet. Let me just show you. Look at this foot. Look at this foot. This is a really crazy looking foot. But all of these joints, all of these spaces in here are bendy places. Places where we're supposed to have mobility. He's got really wacky toes. Okay? So all these joints in here, look at all this space and all these joints. And when the muscles get tight, they pull the bones close together, and then we have a decreased range of motion. And that's when arthritis will start to grow. So when arthritis sets in, we're going to feel less mobile in our joints. The joints are going to feel stiff and achy and tight. And in the feet, when that happens, if we don't have all those joints moving and undulating, the feet become very rigid and stiff, kind of like, bricks. And so you're walking around on 2 bricks instead of your feet undulating on the floor. So let's play around with our mobility of our feet for a little bit. And the ankle is so important for our sense of stability and balance. So if it's really tight and stiff, then you go to step and it doesn't move. You don't go with it, So anyway, find 2 chairs or a chair in a wall. Bring your hands to the chairs. You don't need to be too close. I hope your chairs aren't real high back chairs. Something you can hang on to. And we're just going to start by lining up the feet. Take a peek down at the feet. My right foot loves to go west. It always wants to turn out. Whenever I look down, it's turned out. And I caught myself when I was driving. I really have to pay attention. My gas foot, my right foot, turns out to press on the gas. And then I've been catching myself and moving my heel over and straightening my leg out. Because my tendency is when I'm standing to turn this right foot out. So I'm paying attention to my daily activities going, why is this happening? And I caught myself in the car. So I want you to pay attention to your feet in the car. Try doing something a little different. Okay, so we have our feet lined up, personal story. And I just want you to close your eyes if that's comfortable. Here you can hold on to your chair if you're feeling wobbly. And just kind of sense where the weight is in the feet. Is it all in the toes? Are you clenching your toes? Is the weight in the balls of the feet? Your heels? Do you rest to the outer edges of the feet, the pinky toe sides of the feet, or the big toe side of the foot? Does the weight rest evenly into both feet? Does one foot feel more forward than the other? How do your feet feel today? And when I say relax your knees, your thighs, and your butt, do you do that? Were you holding them tense unnecessarily? all good things to notice. And then let your eyes open. And we're going to begin holding on to the chair, just gentle, gentle light. And we're going to start by just lifting the heels. My feet are apart. I'm just going to lift my heels up a little bit. Go to the point of comfort. Don't go to the point of strain. And we're just going to stay up here for a moment. When we're up, heels are up off the ground, the calf muscles are contracting. We're going to slowly lower down. And when your heels rest into the ground, you're going to feel yourself kind of rock back a little bit. Pause and relax. Let's do it again. Coming up, heels nice and slow, so you know that's a good place to stop. The calves are contracting, and then we slowly release. And let's do it again. So if you're someone who's having cramps in your calves, they're tight, they're dehydrated, this is going to contract the muscle so that the muscle can reset and not hold so much tension. The key is to come down slowly and relax completely. Let's do one more time just for fun. 3 times is great, 4 times in case the first one was weird. So now you know what you're doing. We're making the toes bend, sneaky way of making the toes bend. You could test your balance if you feel like it. Woo. We're going to come down nice and slow. Let the weight settle into the heels. Good. Now we're going to go the other way. So I'm going to lift just my toes. So I'm going to lift my toes off the floor, keep the ball of the foot on the floor. And now lift the ball of the foot up, so I'm really back in my heels. Now this is lengthening the calves. Now we're going to come down, ball of the foot first, and then your toes. And let's keep it going. Ready? Toes up, hold it. Balls of the feet up, be on your heels. Bring the balls of the feet down, keep the toes lifted. Relax the toes on the floor, let them spread out nice and wide. Toes are for balance. One more time, lift only the toes. Lift the balls of the feet, weight will go back into the heels, lift them up high. The front of the shin, those muscles are contracting, the calf is lengthening. Bring just the balls of the feet down, keep the toes up. And then relax all the toes onto the floor. And relax your legs. Now we're going to shift a little side to side. Hang on to the chair. And I'm going to bring the edges of the feet. I'm going to come to the edges of my feet. I'm going to zoom my camera in a little bit. It's going to chop my head off, but you don't need to see my face. Oh, you can still see my face. Good. So we're going to go to the edges of the feet. I'm going to let my knees be soft, come back into center. Soften the knees, rock over to one side. I'm on the baby toe edge of the foot and the big toe edge of the foot. Back through center, knees are soft. Baby toe, big toe. And this moves a bone inside that ankle joint. The talus bone is like the steering wheel. You can kind of feel that. Notice if one side is different than the other. And then back into center. I'm going to separate my feet just a little bit further. I'm going to go to the outer edges of the feet and then to the inner edges of the feet. Notice how my knees knock in. Internal rotation. External rotation. Just a gentle rock, just creating mobility through all the bones and joints of the foot. One more time. Real gentle, doesn't have to go far, shouldn't hurt. And then land back in your feet. and relax your legs. And just see how that feels for a moment. And then we're going to have a seat in the chair. Now you just need one chair. So when we sit in the chair, I want you to back your legs up so that you feel your legs bump into the chair. And we're going to practice sitting and standing. So I'm going to bend from the crease of my hips. I'm going to lean my heart forward. I know my chair is there, and come down nice and slow. We're going to practice that in a moment, but while we're sitting, let's loosen up the muscles through the hips. I know this is your favorite pose. So we've got the ankles moving. We got a little movement in the knees. Bring your ankle to your thigh. Oh my. Bend the ankle that's on the thigh, and we might as well, while we're here, grab your calf muscle and twist the meat around the bone. Just a couple of times. I'm rotating the flesh out, and then I'm going to rotate the flesh in. Have a nice firm hold and rotate. Hold and rotate. I'm going to hang out down the ankle, and I'm going to twist my hands in opposite directions. So you got pants on, you can pull them up and grab the skin. And this changes the fascia that's just beneath the skin. The fascia gets very dehydrated and stiff. And just moving the fascia like this will begin to draw water to the tissue, make the tissue more supple. All right. I'm going to move up into the hip joint now. I'm going to just lift my knee up and down. And when we do this, we're moving the ball in the socket. This begins to get the fluids moving. It's like squirting a little WD-40 into the joint. This gets the synovial fluid in the joint, releasing to hydrate the joint. And then we're going to go a little stretchy. So I'm going to lower my knee. I'm going to lift the chest. I'm going to lean a little forward towards the leg that's on the ground. And as I lean forward, I bump into some tension. I'm going to back away. Let's do that a couple of times. Lean a little forward. I want you to feel the stuff back in your hip, your thigh, your butt. If you're feeling it in your knee, there's a couple little fixes. One, you could lift your knee up and hold it up. The other is you could bring a blanket under your butt, elevate yourself a little higher. That can make a really big difference. We're just bobbing in and out. The ankle is bent. If you love the movement, keep it going. If you like, lean forward, lower your head, reach for the leg of the chair or the seat of the chair. Let your head be really heavy. Stay a little longer if you like. Come up slowly, head last when you're ready. Help the knee all the way down. Side two. So this might be your tighter side. You might have to really hoist that leg up. Again, to make it easier, you could elevate your butt. Bring a blanket or a towel, a little bit of something. Elevate your butt a little higher. Let's move the fascia. So I'm going to take the meat, rotate it around the bone, coming up towards the knee. I'm going to change direction. Should really feel nothing but good. I'm going to focus down at the ankle, and I'm going to it's like wringing out a rag, twisting. Give it a twist and just hold it for a moment. Give it a twist and hold it. The fascia, when looked at under a microscope, it's like a sponge. It's got the consistency of a sponge. And it's mostly water. All right, let's move it to the hip. So I'm going to lift my knee up and down. And so you know what, like if you had a dried up sponge, maybe you have an old sponge and it's all hard and dry, and you went to like put it on the counter and wipe up some water, it wouldn't work very well, right? But if you had a moist sponge, it would suck up the water really well. So we're moving to create movement in these tissues so that water is coming into the tissues to hydrate. Lift, lean a little forward, and come out. Maybe close your eyes, bend the ankle that's on the thigh. Support the knee if you need to. We're just kind of bobbing in. We just kind of lean in towards the leg that's on the ground. We bump into a little tension and we back away. And the body's like, oh, that's so nice. We're not being tortured. We're just kind of visiting and leaving. If it feels comfortable to do so, go ahead and lean forward and stay. Lower the head. Maybe reach for some support by the leg of the chair. And focus on the breath. Noticing what can you soften. Come up slowly when you're ready. Always come out if I stay too long. That was feeling really good. You know, listen to your body. That's what we're doing. We're paying attention to the body. So we're really listening to its messages. We're learning to listen to the body. The body's always listening to our thoughts and our mind. Are we listening to the body's messages is the question. All right. Let's practice getting up out of this chair. So it's good to scooch a little forward and think about your heart. My feet are a little forward, maybe just under my knees, and I'm going to lean my heart forward. As I look down, I kind of sense like my heels are under my heart. I'm bending from my hips. And what I want you to do is place your hands on your legs. And we're going to focus on these front of the thighs, the quadriceps, really helping us to get out of the chair. They need to be strong. So as I lean my chest forward, my heart over my heels, I'm going to press my feet down into the floor. Feel those legs work as you stand all the way up. Back up so that you bump into the chair. Bend from the hips. Make sure the knees stay apart. Send your butt back, keep the spine long. This is the precarious moment that gets hard, but I want you to lower yourself down nice and slow. You know the chair is there. Let's come out, ready? Lean a little forward. Feel the front of the thighs work. Use your hands against your thighs if you need to, and come all the way up. I still feel my chair at the back of my legs. Back up if you need to. Bend from the hip crease. Keep the knees open. You can place your hands on your thighs and they're going to work. And this time I'm going to sit down and go right back up. Ready? Lean forward. Heart over heels. I can use my hands or don't. And come all the way up. Now we're going to go like we're going to sit in the chair, but we're not going to sit in the chair. Ready? Bend from the hips, let the chest lean forward. My legs are touching my chair. I know it's there. My butt is reaching back towards the chair. I can bring my hands to my thighs. My spine is long. My butt is reaching back, so I'm not in a tuck. And I'm just going to hover here. I'm just going to go down a little bit and up a little bit. Down a little bit, up a little bit. If you can do one more, we're going to end standing up, not sitting down. Stand all the way up. So every time you get out of a chair is an opportunity to strengthen the front of your thighs, your glutes. Okay, today I want to focus on the front of the thighs. When we get to the floor, we'll focus on the glutes a little bit more. All right, we're standing. Your thighs should be talking to you. They're like, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to stand. And you could have one chair, maybe two. I don't think you need both of them. And we're just going to start to shift the weight of the body from one foot to the other. And what I want you to do is make sure you're not locking out your knees. Let's pause here for a moment and just play with that so you know, like, I don't know if I'm locking out my knees. So I want you to stand and really press the backs of the knees back and see what that does to the body. As soon as I do that, I feel this compression in my lower back and my whole body is leaning forward. So I want you to check in and just let the knees be soft. Let the knees be soft. And shift the weight of the body from one side to the other. And just see if one side feels different than the other. My right side, when I step on my right side, I feel nothing, not like pain, but I feel sensations around my hip that I don't feel on the other side. I'm just sharing so you know that you're normal. Two sides usually feel different. Let's add on to this, ready? I'm gonna lean into this foot and I'm going to take that arm up to the sky. The other leg, I'm going to hike my hip up. Now reach up to the top shelf, look up, and then come down nice and slow. Shift the weight of the body into the other leg. Hike the hip up towards your underarm. Reach up to the sky. Reach, 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 reach. Come down nice and slow. Let's do it again. Shift the weight. I'm hiking my hip towards my underarm. This arm can reach down as the other arm reaches up. One side getting short, the other side getting long. Reach up, grab that sweater from the top shelf, and come down nice and slow. One more time, ready? Shift the weight. Hike up your hip, reach that arm down, reach the other arm up, look up or down, reach, 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 stretch, and come down nice and slow. Good. Now I'm going to shift it up for you a little bit. We've just created some nice length through the body. Now we're going to shift side to side. But this time when I shift, I'm standing on this leg. My other leg is going to go down. Shift your weight and let the other hip sink down. You can put your hands on your hips so you feel it. I'm shifting my weight. I'm standing on this leg and I'm going to bend this knee so my hip drops down. You can see my waistline. And, you know, this is creating movement in your ankle, your knees, and your pelvis. Notice if one side feels different than the other. Mine does. And this action is necessary for walking. So you can start moving a little bit. When you're ready, you're just going to step forward. As I step forward, that hip is up, the back leg is down. See if you can feel that motion. Just see if you can feel. As the front leg goes forward, as the leg is forward, that hip goes up. When we have a weird toe, a hurt knee, a sore back, and we start to compensate and we're hobbling, we lose this movement pattern in the body. which is really ideal and important. If we walk this way, can keep it moving, we actually move and hydrate the psoas. So it's not working so hard to bring the leg forward. One more or two. So when you're walking around in this beautiful weather, just slow it down, put your hands on your hips and just see if you feel that hip motion. Good. And relax. Okay. So we've got our toes moving, our ankles moving, we got our knees moving, we engage the thighs. See, when I come up out of the chair, my ankles are moving. And we've shifted weight side to side. We have the pelvis moving. This is going to help us balance. You can hold on to one chair, two if you like. And what I'm going to do is just shift my body weight, like we've been practicing, and I shift my body weight, and I'm just going to lift the other leg up. Hold on to your chair if you like, and then maybe come off the chair. I'm just lifting my leg, and now I'm just going to try to tap my toe down, and then move my leg out to the side and tap my toe down. And I'm just going to do this little toe tap dance. And my ankle, I feel my ankle undulating and moving, keeping me stable. And then let's come back to 2 feet. I'm going to wiggle it out a little bit. And then I'm going to shift to the other side. So I'm going to shift my body weight, standing on that leg. I'm going to lift the other leg, nice and easy. Hold on to your chair if you like. And we're just going to tap the toe down, move it over, tap it down, and tap, and tap. Let your arms help you. Stay fluid. You are a fluid being. All right. Last challenge. When I shift my weight, I'm standing on one leg. I'm going to lift my leg back up. I'm going to hang on to my chair for a moment, and I can just close my eyes. And bring that foot down. So you can notice your eyes really help you. When I'm focusing on balancing, what I want you to think about is your eyes at the level of the horizon, which is about at the place of your ear hole. I love that word. So the horizon is about at your ear hole level, keeping your eyes there. Shift the weight of the body. Lift the leg. Find your balance. And then if you like, close your eyes. And lower down. See how much we depend on our eyes for balance. So if we have this tendency to be looking down all the time, it's going to be hard for us to balance. You can't look down and balance on one foot because the body, the head is so heavy, you're going to fall over. So when you're focusing and you're practicing your balancing exercises, keep your eyes forward. And just play with that all throughout the day. You can use one of your chairs to go down to the floor, or both of your chairs. If your chair is the right height, you could use it for your final pose and put your legs over it for our resting position. We're going to head to the floor. Maybe have a little something for under your head. Coming down gracefully. I guess you could do this part in your bed too. Add that to the instructions. I love the floor because the floor is firm. It gives you some feedback. So if you tend to lay down and your chin is poked up real high, a little something under your head is important. And we're going to begin here with the feet on the floor, knees bent. And we're going to take a couple of breaths. We're just moving our awareness up through the body. Inhale, we're going to breathe into the whole torso. Feeling that breath radiate in all directions, front and back, side to side, top and bottom. 2 more. Just noticing the breath, inhaling, feeling the fullness, exhaling and softening. And we begin to move. What I want you to do is inhale. Place a hand on your belly. As you exhale, draw your belly button down towards the floor and flatten your back into the ground. Inhale, let your back rise up off the ground. Exhale, draw the belly in, flatten the back to the ground. So I call this tucking and untucking. Inhale, the back arches away from the floor. Exhale, the back presses into the floor. And as you continue, there should be no pain or discomfort. The movement can be very small. And see if you can not clench the butt so much and not use the feet so much. Inhale, the back arches away from the floor. Exhale, the back flattens into the floor. See if you notice that you're getting movement all the way up to your head. Notice how your nose is kind of bobbing up and down. So good for the discs. That movement hydrates the discs that are in between all of the bones of the spine. And if they get dry and dehydrated, oh dear, they start deteriorating. Last one. End on the exhalation, drawing the belly in, feel the back flat, pause. And then relax into neutral. You may need to wiggle your shoulders away from your butt. Let's pause, notice how you feel. Now we're going to slide the left, let's just do, it doesn't matter which leg. I'm going to do this one. I want you to be able to see, so it doesn't really matter which side, left or right. And notice how my foot is close to my butt, but I'm not struggling. All we're going to do is press that foot gently down into the floor and then release. It is so small and gentle, I wouldn't even notice you were moving. We're going to do about 100 of them, so. Press the foot down and feel the knee move forward as you do that. And then when you come back, relax completely. Press the foot down, send the knee forward, feel your butt lift a little, just that one cheek, and then roll it back down. As the foot presses down, the knee goes forward, the butt lifts, you feel like you're rolling the pelvis towards the straight leg. And then you release down. And you might notice that the movement is now getting a little bigger, not because you're trying, it's because you're focusing on what's happening. And this is a great way to get tension to release from the glutes and the hamstring. Close your eyes and just feel it. And for the last couple, try moving your foot out to the side just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Just change the angle slightly and see what that does. And then pause and slide that leg out straight, both legs straight for a moment. Close your eyes and just notice the two sides of your butt. I actually feel it up into my lower back. The side I was doing just feels softer, closer to the floor, more relaxed. And the other side just feels dense and up. So bend the other side, bend the knee. Start super small. The slightest, softest, gentlest, press the foot down and relax. Press the foot down, send the knee forward and relax. And notice when you press the knee forward, how you start to feel your butt lifting off the ground. And as that cheek lifts off the ground, you're rolling towards the straight leg. This is how you want to roll over in bed. You press the foot down and tip the body over, so you have the power of this leg. Just a side note. Close your eyes, just feel if there's any discomfort. Keep doing the movement, but make it smaller so you don't feel the discomfort. Sometimes we go, oh, it's a little painful. Let me just investigate that and shove through it, get to the other side. It's not how it works. And then when you're feeling ready to be done, let's scooch the foot to the side, maybe an inch, maybe less. Just change the angle a little bit and see what you find. It feels totally different on this side. Remember, send the knee forward. And then relax. And this time as you slide your legs out, you can pause for a moment and then just rock the legs in and out. Windshield wiper your toes towards each other and away. This is a great thing to do before you get out of bed in the morning. And this movement up in the hip socket will lubricate. It'll start to release synovial fluid in the hips so that when you get up, you don't feel so stuck and stiff. And then we're going to roll over to the belly. So I'm going to bend one knee so I can push into the foot and roll myself over. So fun. And we're here briefly today to help release the hamstring muscles. We're going to contract the hamstring in order to get it to relax more than normal. So you can have your hands under your head if you like, or arms down by your sides, forehead to the floor. I'm going to keep my hands under my head so that you can hear me. My legs are apart. The toes are turned inwards towards each other. And I'm just going to very slowly bend one knee so my toes come off the floor just about an inch. My toes are just hovering over the floor. And when I bend my knee like that, my hamstring muscle is engaged. So if you're not feeling it, you can slowly bend the knee a little bit more, go slowly, and you'll start to feel the hamstring muscle contracting. And then slowly lower down. Let everything relax completely, and you can wiggle the leg a little out and in. Let's do that 2 more times. Bend the knee nice and slow, lifting the toes off the ground just a little. Keep bending the knee really slowly until you feel like, okay, the back of my leg is contracting. So now we have the hamstring muscle contracted. You can stay right there or lift the knee off the floor just a hair. And that will really start to contract hamstring into butt. Lower the knee, lower the foot slowly. Let the whole body relax. Give it a wiggle. One more time. Bend the knee slowly.
Close your eyes and feel. You'll start to feel, oh yeah, the hamstring is contracting. And then I'm going to maybe lift the knee. You don't have to do this part. Just the knee just comes off the floor just a hair. And it really fires up that hamstring. It's working, working, working. Lower it slowly. Let it relax. Give it a little jiggle. Close your eyes and just feel both legs. That leg actually feels longer now. Let's do the other side. Bend the knee just slightly. As I keep bending my knee, I'm not trying to bring my foot all the way up to the sky. The hamstring is going to engage pretty quickly. You'll feel it. The back of the thigh will start to tighten. Slowly lower down. As the leg rests down, give it a little wiggle. Again, bend the knee. Find the contraction. The next part is optional. Just think about the front of the thigh up by your kneecap, just lifting a little tiny bit off the floor. You'll feel the front of the hip move down into the ground as the knee lifts up. The top of the thigh is leaning into the floor. Come down nice and slow. Relax completely. Give it a little wiggle. Last one. Bend the knee. Lift the knee. Feel the top of the hip, the top of the thigh presses down as the knee goes up. The hamstring and the butt contract. And as we lower it down nice and slow, and then we let it go completely. Give it a wiggle. And then bend one knee all the way and bend the other knee all the way. Now my feet are up and I'm just going to swish my feet and shin bones left to right. It's like upside down windshield wipers. And then pausing in the center. Lower the feet down one at a time and just give your butt a little shimmy side to side. Shimmy your butt side to side. And just because we're here and it's easy, if you have spinal stenosis, you got to stay low on this one. Otherwise, let's come up onto the elbows and forearms. We might as well. We're here. And then I'm going to use my arms. I'm pretty low to the ground. And think about your heart being pulled away from the pelvis. Dragging the torso long away from the pelvis. Decompressing the spine. And I can come up a little higher maybe. Maybe I come up and down. As I move up and down, the heart is pulling long away from your belly button, away from the pelvis. Oh, that feels so good. Super good if you're having a bulging or herniated disc to help decrease that compression. Maybe stay up if you're feeling good. No pain, please. Breathe into your side ribs. And then we're going to lower down nice and slow. To come out, I'm going to slide one hand out up over my head. I'm going to bend my knees. Roll over onto my back. And I'm going to use a block between my knees. We're back in our constructive rest position. And let's just, for a moment, tuck and untuck. So I'm going to draw my belly in, feel the back flatten. That's a tuck. I don't want to start this movement in a tuck. I want you to go to the tuck and then relax into neutral.
And from there, squeeze the block, use your glutes, lift your butt, send your knees forward, and then come all the way down. So use your glutes, squeeze the block so the hamstrings don't do all the work. We just practiced contracting the hamstrings so that they would relax. And now we're trying to get the butt, the hamstrings, the lower back all working in harmony, like a symphony. Inhale, lift the butt, send the knees forward. Exhale to come down. If you want to add the arms, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale down. So these muscles also help us get up out of the chair. They're supposed to work when we walk. They help to stabilize us when we're balancing on one foot, which is happening when we're walking. When you're walking, there's a moment of standing on one foot. And the glutes are necessary. They have to turn on to keep you stable. Keep it going. Inhale up. Exhale down. If your arms don't like this movement, you could swish them out to the sides and bring them down. We're just playing in the symphony. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. If you love it, you can keep going. If you want to challenge, go up and stay up. If you feel done, just pause and enjoy your rest. I'm feeling my feet, sending my knees forward, holding the block, using the glutes, strengthening the back. And then when I come down, roll down nice and slow. Roll down through all the bones. And relax. Take the feet wide. And let's go both knees to the right and both knees to the left. Now I can add arms to this. As I take my legs to the left, I let my arms rotate in the arm socket to the left. The arms are down low, away from the body, out to the sides. And I'm just twirling my arms, my hands, all the way up into the shoulder sockets. If that's too much for you, just do the legs. Let your head turn. It might turn with your knees and your arms and your head go together. Maybe try a few with the head turning the opposite direction of your knees and arms. Last one. Take your time pausing in the center. Take a breath. And let's cross one thigh over the other thigh. And now I am crossing with no space between the knees and the thighs. Just do a little tuck and untuck here. Draw the belly in, flatten the back to the ground. And then let the back arch away from the ground. Let it be gentle. Now you could stay here and keep doing this if this feels great. If you have the mobility, we're going to pull the belly in, hold it in, and I'm going to reach up and grab hold of my legs. And this is where you can use your strap and hold around the front of your legs. So So I want to make sure that I'm holding that furthest leg. We were just tightening the glutes. Now we're just giving them a little stretch. Release. I'm going to bring both feet down to the ground. Take the other leg over top, crossing high at the thigh. Draw the belly in, feel the back flatten. And then relax, feel the back lift. Belly in, back flatten. Relax, back will lift. Now when we pull the belly in, the back flattens. The abdominal muscles are holding the spine in place, keeping it stable. So you can bring your knees to your chest, reach up and grab hold of your legs. I love to create movement in this pose. You can rock side to side, in and out. Because movement gets those layers of tissue gliding over each other. And then coming out, have your strap handy. We'll do one more before we rest. So bring the knee to your chest. And let's just hold it in for a moment. Take a couple long breaths. Notice how when you're doing this, your lower back is nice and flat to the floor. And I'm going to ask you to arch the back off the floor in a moment. So enjoy this easy position. Soften the shoulders. Roll the head a little side to side. Might need a little something under your head. Now with the head planted in the center, take your strap and bring it to the bottom of your foot, right around the instep. And I'm going to kick my leg out kind of low. See how my thighs are on the same plane, so I'm not up high. We're going to go high, but not yet. And now I want you to internally and externally rotate your leg. So I'm going to turn my toes out like a duck and then inwards like a pigeon. And just see my leg is low, my knee is straight, and I'm just internally and externally rotating the hip joint. And then I'm going to pause in the center. And I want you to, you can scooch that strap a little bit higher towards the ball of the foot. Now pay attention to your pelvis. My other leg is still bent. And I want you to pull the belly in, feel the back flatten. That's a tuck. Now I want you to go lift the lower back off the ground, untuck. Bend the ankle deeply. Keep the knee straight and then move the leg towards your head. Do not go past 90 degrees. I know that makes some of you laugh. So the pelvis is untucked and the ankle is bent deeply. The sensation is sensational. And then kind of soften out of it. Don't pull back so hard. Relax your back to the ground. And let's do that one more time. So I'm going to untuck the pelvis. Straighten the knee, bend the ankle deeply, and I'm looking for this fascial pull from the foot to the butt. It should be one long, beautiful sensation. And soften out of that. Bend the knee, hold the knee to your chest, bring both knees to your chest, and just feel the difference in the two sides. Side two, I'm going to hold the knee to the chest for a moment. So I put the other foot on the floor. Let it be easy. Notice how your back is on the ground. Roll the head a little side to side. Take your strap to the bottom of your foot. And as I kick my leg out, I'm not going out to the sky, but I'm My thighs are level with each other. And I'm going to internal and externally rotate my leg. Turning the foot out to the side like a duck. Turning the toes inwards, internal rotation. Noticing how this side is different than the other side, the other leg. And which is easier, internal rotation or external rotation? My internal rotation is a challenge. Good. And then we're going to pause. Now I'm going to pull the belly in, feel the back flatten. That's what I don't want to do here. So now I'm going to let my back relax away from the floor. Let the belly relax. I'm going to move my pubic bone down, feel the untuck of the pelvis. Scooch the strap to the ball of the foot, bend the ankle deeply. And I'm going to look for that stretch in the back of the leg. So if you have to bring your leg a little higher, you do. Bending the ankle, untucking the pelvis. This is a big stretch in the fascia. Now I'm going to back out of it. Relax the back to the floor, soften the bend in the ankle. We do it one more time. Untuck the pelvis, pubic bone down, lower back lifts off the ground. Use your strap, bend the ankle, straighten the knee. Hello, fascia. You just stay for 2 breaths. That's the good news. And even better news, relax your back to the floor. Release the strap from your foot. Bring the knee back to your chest. And let's bring both knees in. Hold behind the thighs. Take the feet to the sky. And rock a little side to side. Now you're just a big baby. A big, happy baby. Because it's time to do nothing. Let's relax. When you're ready, bend your knees, feet on the floor. And you can settle in constructive rest with me if you like. If you're going to stay for a while, you could put your legs up high over that chair. That is so good for the lower back. If you're going to rest, your legs out straight, have a blanket or bolster rolled behind the knees. I don't have anything around me. And we settle in and notice the breath. Strength and balance. Mobility and stability. Just notice your breath and start to slow down the exhalation. Like the exhale is a slow, gentle trickle. And then let's focus on the body. Being aware of the whole back of your body. I want you to notice all those points along the back of the body that are touching the floor, leaning back into the floor, feeling gravity's pull. And that weight and that gravity pull has a denseness to it. Notice somewhere along the back of the body that feels the heaviest. Where is that heaviest spot? And notice somewhere along the back of the body where you feel the weight of the body, but it feels a little lighter. Notice along the back of the body a place that doesn't touch the floor. Notice the space. between your body and the floor. Bring that awareness to the front of the body. Noticing all the points along the front of the body that face the sky. Feeling that openness and expansiveness. All the points of the body that feel open. And then bring your awareness back to the back of the body, feeling that dense gravity, feeling grounded, connected to the earth. And bring that awareness back to the front of the body. Notice that expanding feeling, feeling open to all possibilities. Open to all possibilities. And then go to the place where gravity meets the openness. Go to that place inside, between feeling grounded and open. If you go back and forth between grounded and open, the front and back of the body. Finding that place where the two meet. Rest in that. And from this inward place, feeling thankful for your body. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.